How to embalm. Part artists and part scientists, embalmers provide a necessary service in funeral homes by sanitizing, preserving, and restoring the deceased to a more lifelike appearance. It's a delicate and complex procedure. Read on to learn more about the world of embalming. Part 1: Preparing the body. (1) Make sure the body is face up. If the body is front side down, gravity will pull the blood down to the lowest parts of the body, particularly the face. This can discolor and bloat the facial features, making it more difficult to create a lifelike appearance for the viewing. (2) Remove any clothing that the person is wearing. You will need to see the skin for signs that embalming is working, so the body will remain uncovered throughout the procedure. Also remove any foreign needles or catheters that are in place. Typically, you'll need to catalog any property found on the person, as well as any cuts, bruises, or other discolorations at this time on your embalming report. This will also be used to document the procedure and chemicals used in the process. The report acts as insurance if the family chooses to sue the funeral home for any reason. Respect the body at all times. Use a sheet or towel to cover the genitals, and don't leave tools laying around on it while you're working. Assume the family may pop in at any moment. 3. Disinfect the mouth, eyes, nose, and other orifices. Powerful disinfectant is used to clean the features, inside and out. Inspect the deceased in regards to the type of fluid you will need. Some embalmers will use this opportunity to mix all the fluid they'll need for the procedure. 2. Get it ready. Usually 16 ounces of fluid with 2 gallons, 6 L, of water is a good dilution. (4) Shave the body. Typically the face is shaved at this point, as you would shave yourself. Men are usually always shaved, though women and children are also often shaved to remove any stray hairs or peach fuzz from the face. 5. Break the rigor mortis by massaging the body. Massage the major muscles groups to relieve the tension and move stiff joints to loosen them up. If the muscles are tight, they will increase extravascular pressure, diverting embalming fluid away from where it needs to go. Part 2: Setting the features. (1) Close the eyes. Use great care in setting the eyes. Typically, the eyelids tend to sag back in its socket, so a small piece of cotton is placed between the lid and the eye to round it out. In some cases, a plastic eye cap is used for this purpose. Eyelids are never sewn shut but may be glued shut in some cases. The features need to be set before the embalming fluid is introduced, because that fluid will set the body fairly rigidly, making it difficult to do it afterward. 2. Close the mouth and set it naturally. One of 2 methods is typically used to set the mouth. Sometimes, the mouth is sewn shut using suture string, passing a curved needle through the jaw under the gums and back up through the septum. Avoid tying the string too tightly to give the jawline a natural appearance. An injector gun is also commonly used in conjunction with a mouth form. Like a mouth guard or a dental prosthetic, The mouth form holds the jaw together according to the natural bite and alignment of the jaw. This method often includes less room for human error. 3. Moisturize the features. A small amount of cream should be used on the eyelids and lips to keep them from drying out, giving them a natural and lifelike appearance. Part 3. Embalming the arteries. 1. Choose your incision site. The arteries are embalmed by simultaneously introducing embalming fluid, a mixture of formaldehyde, other chemicals, and water, into an artery while draining the blood from a nearby vein or from the heart. It takes about 2 gallons of fluid to embalm a typical body. On men, the incision is made near the base of the SCM muscle and the clavicle. For females or younger people, the femoral site is most popular. 2. Make your incision. Clean the vein point off, create an entrance point, and insert the drain tube towards the heart. Tie a ligature around the lower side of the tube. Do the same for the artery except insert the cannula instead of a drain tube. Place the cannula. Forceps on the artery locking the cannula in place. Use the small locking forceps to clamp off the upper side of the artery and restrict the flow. 3. Turn on your embalming machine and distribute the fluid. While the embalming is taking place, wash the body with a good germicidal antibacterial soap and be sure to check for drainage while massaging the limbs to push blood out and embalming solution in. When the fluid enters the arteries, pressure will build throughout the veins, which means the fluid is moving throughout the body. You'll notice the veins bulging somewhat. Open the jugular drain tube periodically to allow blood to escape and relieve the pressure. 4. Slowly decrease the pressure. When you have about 20% of your solution left, turn off the machine and reverse your cannula to the other side of the artery you chose to inject. This will embalm the part that was blocked by the cannula previously. Be sure to turn down the pressure, as the fluid only has to go a short distance, and you don't want to pop the eyes. In the case of the femoral, this will embalm the lower leg. In the case of the right common carotid, this will embalm the right side of the head. 5. Finish. When you've embalmed to your satisfaction, or run out of fluid, turn off the machine, remove the cannula, and tie off the veins and arteries you used. Suture the incisions closed. Use sealing powder to ensure there is no leakage. Part 4. Embalming the cavity. (1) Use a trocar to aspirate the organs. Now that the arteries have been cleaned, you need to clean the inside of the organs before bacteria and gas builds up and excess fluids purge from the nose or mouth. 2. Aspirate the chest cavity. Insert the trocar 2 inches, 5.1 cm, to the right and 2 inches, 5.1 cm, superior to the umbilicus. Clean out the hollow organs such as the stomach, pancreas, and small intestine. 3. Aspirate the lower cavity. Remove the trocar, turn it around, and insert it into the lower body, aspirating the contents of the large intestine, bladder, and in the case of females, the uterus. The anus and vagina are sometimes packed with cotton to avoid seepage. 4. Inject cavity fluid into the torso. Cavity fluid is usually 30% formaldehyde, and the gravity injection method is typically used to push the cavity fluid into the hollow organs, sterilizing and preserving them. Make sure you get both the upper and lower organs. This step is crucial in preventing purge. 5. Remove the trocar and close the hole with a trocar screw. Clean out your trocar and put it away. Part 5. Cascading the body. One. Wash the body thoroughly. Using the same disinfectant used earlier, clean the body thoroughly to remove any blood or other chemicals left behind by the embalming process. Use delicacy and care in this process. 2. Touch up the features. Lifelike makeup will be applied to the face, the fingernails will be clipped, and the hair should be styled and groomed. 3. Dress the body. Generally, the deceased's family will choose the clothes to be worn in the casket. Dress the body carefully and appropriately. Sometimes plastic underwear is used to protect especially leaky bodies. 4. Place the body in the casket. Arrange the body peacefully. Consult the family for any advice or further instructions regarding the presentation.
Tips.
Make sure the body is in a desirable position when you finish embalming. Once the chemicals take full effect, the body will be frozen until decomposition resumes. Respect, respect, respect. This person used to be alive, and someone probably cared about this person very much. You are being trusted to take good care of somebody's loved one. Don't let them down. They're paying a lot for you to do this, despite whatever money you're making, some more. Environmentally conscious substitutes are available for embalming, like hard fluid. Formaldehyde can be somewhat hazardous for groundwater. Embalming is not permanent. An embalmed body will be viewable for about 7 days in optimal conditions. Adding dye to your embalming solution is a good way to track what's being preserved and what isn't. If a particular limb isn't getting the fluid, try injecting that limb. That should fix the problem nicely. If all else fails, hypodermically inject.
Warnings.
Formaldehyde is a possible carcinogen. Take precautions to minimize exposure. Working with the insides of a human body can expose you to biohazardous material. Make sure you discard disposable objects that contact the body in a clearly marked biohazard container and take suitable precautions to protect yourself. Embalming a body is illegal if you do not have a license, PPE, personal protective equipment, as required by OSHA, and permission to embalm from the executor.
Things you'll need.
A table that can hold a person, although the floor works well if you want to be on your knees for an hour. Arterial tubes, or cannula, are inserted into major arteries into which you can inject embalming solution. A scalpel or scissors, if you want to be gory about it. You'll need scissors anyway. Scissors, for cutting important stuff. A roll of medical-grade string, called ligature. A curved needle for sewing incisions. A large sink into which blood can be drained and water can be accessed. A water aspirator, or hydroaspirator, to create negative pressure. It is attached to the faucet of the sink, and has a hose coming from one of its openings that leads to a trocar. This is a long, sword-like needle that is connected to the hydroaspirator, which is used to puncture and aspirate the hollow organs which embalming fluid cannot reach arterially. A few bottles of mixed embalming solution. Formaldehyde is most common, but there are substitutes. An aneurysm needle, hook. This is a metal tool with a flat handle and a long point that bends 90 degrees at the end. Cotton, and more cotton. Eye caps, concave round discs that hold the eyes shut from underneath. There are many other tools that are useful to embalmers, but they are for the most part optional. Even some of the tools mentioned are optional.